Art is built from the ground up. Hi, I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer, your host on Make It Artsy. Today's most imaginative makers are here with all sorts of new methods and materials. They'll roll up their sleeves, sketch out plans, rev up tools, and construct exciting art projects that you can do too. Today, I'll start planning my new projects with a colorful journal that's easy and artsy. So I'm going to be doing something called bullet journaling. And I had read about bullet journaling all over the internet, but it hadn't really gotten me excited. I didn't see the point of having another calendar since I already carry one in my phone. And then I started doing it, and now I'm addicted. Okay, so this is what my bullet journal looks like. It's essentially just a small notebook that you can take with you, and you can see it looks kind of fancy. And I'm gonna break this all down for you so you can see how easy it is to make it look colorful and fun. It's a great place for keeping lists of all kinds, drawing plans out for crafty projects, doing all sorts of fun stuff, and just having fun, in your journal. So if you have a spread that looks like this and is very complicated, it actually starts with the same formula every single time. So what I'm using is a notebook that has paper that has dots. This is called a dot grid notebook, and that's important because these dots allow me to basically connect lines to create any shape that I want. And what I mean by that is you can see here how I've simply drawn lines on here to create this overall grid. Now I want to show you one little trick that I think is super fun. In the back of my journal, in a little pocket, I have a tag. And on that tag, I've actually drawn out how many dots to count. So here where it says 2, I know that I'm counting 1, 2, and I draw a line here to create my first grid. Then the next one is 10 dots down. And you can see how quickly you can put together a grid like this. So I carry a bunch of pens with me. And I, just have them all in a pouch. So what that allows me to do is quickly grab it so that when I get to the color phase, okay, which is a little further on, I just know which one I want. So the first thing I do, I've organized my day into a ladder. And a ladder means it starts with morning, afternoon, and evening. So my day is in little chunks. So if I have something that goes from 3 to 6, it just goes 3 to 6. I know that it stretches into the evening, but not very far. And this now allows me to add my to-dos. I add all my to-dos in a red pen. And I just put a little dot, and I can figure out whatever the to-do is, laundry. And I know that in the evening, I'm going to do laundry. Whereas in the morning, before I go to PT or physical therapy, I might say one of the to-dos I have to do is write blog posts. Okay? And you can do this the night before. You can schedule it early in the week. If you have big to-dos, you can add them into the larger section up front. Like let's say I want to redo the header on my website. And I just write that out. Now, quickly at a glance, I can look through and I can see what's an appointment and what's a to-do. When I'm finished with the to-do, I simply exit out. Or let's say I didn't finish my blog post, I simply add an arrow indicating that I'm migrating or moving that to another day. So this is a great way for me to keep track of all of my to-dos. And so after a week of doing this, it might look something like this. Things X'd, migrated, and moved around. So then the next step is, I'm a memory keeper. I can't lie, I'm a long time memory keeper. And so what I do then is I just like to take a blue pen now and put all my memories in blue. So like for instance, let's say something really great happened at the sheep shearing festival. So then I would just write out really fun day, and I'm not worried about how pretty it is. I ate a lot of kettle corn. That's a true story. But I'm just writing that out. And once all of that text is out in blue, I have something that looks like this, okay? So I have my memories, I have my to-dos, and now it's time to make it look pretty. So I can do this that day, I can do it a month from then. And making it look pretty may be adding some drawings, like a simple leaf shape, okay? Sometimes it involves writing out a quote or something like that. I can use brush markers to kind of color in certain areas, again, adding that color. Sometimes I like to color around an image instead of actually the image itself. I think it makes it pop a little bit more. And you want to make sure with all of these things, all of these pens, that you're using something that's not going to bleed through the paper. So as much as I love watercolor and stuff like that, I'd probably stay away from that. Okay, look how cool that is, and it just starts to pop out. So if you look at the one that I have here, which is really all done up, you can see how if you break it down, it's actually really, really super easy. So for instance, these waves, which are so sparkly and cool on here. Let me break down how easy it is to do those. I have this little worksheet, and that will be available on the Make It Artsy website. But you can see you start with a curl. Then to the curl, you simply add another piece. And you can see you just keep adding and adding until you have this big, huge shape. And then personally, I just like to take gel pens, and then I just go ahead and color in the various areas. And this is one of my favorite things to do while watching TV, on an airplane, just killing time. I find coloring, it's like making your own coloring book. It's extremely relaxing and therapeutic. All I have to do is think about what sparkly color is gonna go into that next little area. And you can see it just fills it up, super easy. And now I have a sparkly thing, and it has not at all bled through the paper, which is really important, obviously, in a book. Another thing that I like to do that's really simple is you can see it here. I've done it right here in the April area. Now, all I do here is take a sparkly pen, and I fill in a box. Because remember, there's a grid under here, so I can see the box, and I can just go ahead and fill it in. And I do just go over my to-dos and my appointments because at this point, this week is done. That's not important to me. And you can see how quickly you can fill the entire area with these cute little cubes. So I've got one last trick for you, and I think you're really gonna like this. What I'm gonna do is I'm simply gonna use a pen to write out the date. Well, not the date, but the month. Let's say this is January 2018. Then I'm gonna take a really thin piece of washi and put it right over that text so it covers it up. Then I'm simply gonna take some markers and draw what are, I think, not particularly difficult shapes to create, just kind of blobby things which are starting to resemble flowers. And notice how I'm holding the pen, right? I'm holding it at kind of an angle. I'm gonna add some leaves on here, okay? It's just this simple, maybe a couple extra little dots to give it some texture. And then, this is the magical part, I'm gonna pull off that washi tape, and now I have this beautiful floral around my text, which of course you can see here in my future log as well. I hope that you will give bullet journaling a try. It's a lot of fun and it's very practical.